Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in this video, as you might have guessed from the title, I'll be talking about how did I get into IIM Indore. To just put it there, IIM Indore is one of the top 6 IIMs in India and is a part of the prestigious BLACKI. So without further ado, let's get started. So as you all know, I took the GRE exam in February 2020, and then I was casually talking to a friend who was preparing for the CAT exam. He said that since I have already prepared for an aptitude exam, taking the CAT will be relatively easier. And March 2020 was when I was casually deciding that I'll take the CAT exam. But my serious preparation started in the month of July. Most of my friends who are applying for Fall 20 for MS in USA had to defer their admits. That is when I realized that maybe I should have a backup plan, and it was in March or April is when I decided that I'll be taking the CAT exam this year. I prepared for the exam for about 4.5 to 5 months. My serious preparations started in July, and to be precise, on 17th July. The month of June went past in a jiffy. I was doing my internship and it was becoming difficult for me to manage the internship work along with the CAT preparation. That is when my cousin suggested me that I should join a coaching, and that was one of the best decisions that I have taken. I would definitely suggest you all go opt for coaching if this is your first attempt or if you find it difficult to stick to a study schedule. So on 17 July, I joined a coaching class and started my preparation formally and seriously. And in just 4 to 4.5 months of preparation, I managed to get a percentile of 98.41, which helped me to get calls from top colleges such as MDI, SP Jain, IIM Indore, IIT Bombay, and CAP IIMs, to name a few. So if I could do it in 4 months, you can definitely do it as well. To talk about the preparation strategy, we'll go section by section. So let's start with quantitative ability, which was my favorite section. In the quant section, I scored a percentile of 99.05. The quant section was always my favorite, and especially during the last few months of my preparation. For the quant section, I decided that first I'll go through the entire syllabus once, and then I'll focus on problem solving. That is, finding faster ways to do the same problem. This is very important in an exam like CAT, where time is very crucial. It is important to know how to solve the question, but it is even more important to know how to solve the question in the least amount of time. If you know how to do this, only then you can cross the 99 percentile mark. Another thing which I noticed for quant was that if you can solve the questions with minimum use of pen and paper, that is, if you can solve the questions mentally, only then you will get a really good percentile. I have observed that all the 99 plus percentilers have a habit of solving the questions mentally, and this is the habit which I tried to inculcate in my last few months of preparation, and it definitely paid off. The questions in the CAT are very easy, and if you observe them carefully and if you have done sufficient practice, you can notice patterns and you can solve the questions mentally. The calculations as well don't require the calculator. If you are in the habit of doing basic mental maths, then you can definitely solve the questions without using the calculator. But sometimes in some questions, it is definitely wise to use the calculator and avoid wasting time by doing the calculations mentally. So to sum it up, for the quant section, I went through the entire syllabus and then I focused on solving as many problems as I could. Next, moving on to the DILR section, data interpretation and logical reasoning. Initially, I found this section to be really very difficult because I used to take a lot of time to solve a single DILR set. I used to take around 20-25 minutes, and with such a speed, I used to manage to solve only 2 sets. But then I realized that for DILR, there are a certain set of questions. There are a certain set of 8 to 10 questions in DI and LR. And you have to learn how to solve these question types, because on the actual exam, you will find variations of these questions. So for DI, what I did was to go through each question type, that is maybe matrix arrangement or seating arrangement or logical reasoning type of sums or blood relation sums. And then once you go through all these types, you will get an idea of how to approach each kind of puzzle and how to crack it. So for DILR, basically you should know how to solve each type of question, because on the actual exam you will find variations of these sums. If you are already well versed with the different types of sets that can appear on the DILR section, then you will crack these sets in a quicker amount of time, and also you can solve more amount of sets. So for DILR, what I'll suggest is regular practice, and the table method which I had mentioned in the VARC video will definitely be helpful over here as well. Link for it is over here. The DILR section for my slot, which was the slot 3 of CAT 2020 examination, was one of the toughest in the past few years. In such situations, it is very crucial to identify the easy sets, because there will definitely be a couple of easy sets and you have to identify them and solve them in the least amount of time, so that you can at least try to attempt or crack a difficult one, and this is where you will cross the 99 percentile mark. I personally scored a percentile of 95.4 on the DILR section. Now finally, coming to the VARC section, that is verbal ability and reading comprehension. In the VARC section, I scored a percentile of 87.57. Also note that some IIMs have a cutoff criteria for each section. For some, it may be 85, while for others it may be 80. Even if you get a 84.99 percentile and the cutoff is 85, then you will not get shortlisted. So make sure that you qualify all the sectional cutoffs as well as the overall cutoff. The VARC as such does not have a defined syllabus. So if you just go through the coaching material in a month or so, then definitely you will know about the different types of questions that you can expect and the different types of concepts that are tested. After that, all you have to do is practice, practice and practice. Especially for the reading comprehension part, during the last few months of preparation, I got to know about a method which is called the table method, and I have already discussed this in a previous video. You can check it over here. The table method is really a very efficient tool to improve your scores in the reading comprehension as well as the DILR section. The table will help you to analyze if you are taking more time for certain type of questions, or if you are making the same mistakes again and again, or if there is any other error which you are making. So I definitely recommend everyone to use the table method once and try it for themselves. Another tip for the VARC section of the CAT is that you should be in a habit of reading, because this will help you to understand and comprehend complex texts on the exam in less amount of time. And once you understand the text, you can answer all the questions in the RC set. So reading regularly definitely helps during the CAT preparation. You can read newspapers such as the Economic Times or magazines such as the Guardian, the Smithsonian, etc., so as to improve your reading skills and also your reading speed, as this will definitely help you to ace the VARC section of the CAT. Now coming to the mocks. So mocks are an essential part of the preparation for any competitive exam. Personally, I took exactly 40 mocks, and I would definitely suggest you to start your preparation by taking a mock. This will help you to understand what's your current level of preparation and how much you need to improve to get into your dream colleges. Also, in the mocks you should remember to solve the previous year's papers, because they are the best set of questions that you can practice on. So if you are preparing for CAT 2021, you should solve all the 3 slots of CAT 2020 and all the 2 slots from CAT 2015 to 2019. This will give you sufficient practice. Along with that, you can also join a test series or 2. Usually, all the CAT aspirants join 2 test series out of IMS, Time and Career Launcher. You can choose any 2 depending upon your personal liking. I had personally joined IMS and Time for the mocks. Initially, you can start with the coaching class mocks, and as the exam approaches, you can start taking the previous year's papers. This will help you to analyze how will you perform on the actual day. You will find the score versus percentile mapping easily on the internet, and you can compare your scores and analyze what's your current standing. My mock scores ranged from 70 percentile to 97 percentile, but typically they were around 85 to 90 percentile mark. Since I've been through the journey, I can understand how it feels to get stuck at a particular percentile level. But you should never get disheartened, and you should focus on analyzing your mistakes, rectifying them, so that eventually as the exam approaches, you reduce your mistakes and you improve your scores. Note that even if you get a percentile of around 90-95 in the coaching class mocks, your actual percentile on the D-Day will be above 98 or 99. So don't get bogged down by low mock scores. Use the mocks as a tool during your preparation and use it as a mode of assessment about your current standing. It doesn't reflect the actual scores you will get on the day. A good number of mocks to take will be around 25 to 30. I would personally recommend at least 20 mocks and at max maybe 35 or 40 mocks. I personally took 40 mocks because during the month of August, suddenly IIM Indore changed the paper pattern from 3 hours to 2 hours. So I thought that I should get sufficient practice, and also since the time duration was reduced, it was easier to attempt more mocks. So depending upon your personal comfort level, you can decide to take any number of mocks between 20 to 30. That will definitely provide you a sufficient amount of practice. Speaking about the profile building for MBA. For Indian colleges, I don't think that there's a lot which you can do, because the parameters considered are 10 standard marks, 12 standard marks and graduation marks. And there's not much that you can do to change these scores. People with WorkX might have an advantage because they will get points for their WorkX, but freshers are definitely not at a disadvantage, because many freshers manage to get very high percentiles of 99.9 plus and manage to get into IIM ABC. So even if you are a fresher, don't think that you are at a disadvantage, because with a good CAT score, you can offset your WorkX. Other than this, to build your profile, maybe you can do a couple of courses in the domain which you are interested in. You can find courses on marketing, finance, HR or any other domain on Coursera or any other websites, and this might help you to talk about these topics during the interviews. So for the profile building, basically I'll suggest that focus on getting a great CAT score so that you will get shortlists from your top colleges, and then you can focus on the interview preparation. The interview preparation can essentially be divided into 3 verticals. First one is your academics. This is related to your field of graduation. You should know all the subjects that you've studied during your graduation, and you should be a master in at least a couple of them. Second vertical is the general knowledge and current affairs. You should be abreast with the current affairs that are happening around you, and you should also have a good general knowledge. Finally, the third vertical is the HR type of questions. These are the personality oriented questions where they'll ask you your strengths, your weaknesses, or maybe what was the most difficult project that you worked on, or what have you learned from your failures. Or they can also be ethic oriented questions like what would you do in a particular situation, how would you react to that. Mind you, if you are not prepared, then these questions can be bouncers and these can be tough nuts to crack. But if you are prepared, then you will be calm and composed during the interview and you can handle these questions very well. So for the interview prep, you can go through your graduation subjects once and master at least a couple of them. For the GK and current affairs, you can read the newspapers such as Economic Times for business news, or also you can use various apps available on the internet. So this has definitely been a very long journey. I started my preparation back in July last year, and today, finally in June, I have received an admit from IIM Indore, which is definitely a dream college for many. I hope that my preparation journey helped you to gain some insights and will help you to shape your preparation accordingly. If you have any specific questions, please put them in the comment section below. Also, I am planning to do a podcast with a friend who has also got into IIM Indore. If you want to see the podcast, then comment down below IIM Indore's podcast. If you found this video to be helpful, please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed already, then smash that subscribe button. See you all in the next one. Till then, bye bye and take care.